Hello, and welcome to Guidance for a Better Life. Today's story is about the joy and the privilege to pass on God's love in any form or fashion. It's a beautiful thing when you get to experience it. And today my guest, Irv Kempf, is going to share a beautiful story, but it's a twist. Although it's just as beautiful, he's going to share how he passed on God's love to somebody special, his cat Buster. Yes, a cat Buster. And it's a good story, and I hope you'll stay tuned. Everybody loves cats and dogs almost. So, hi, Irv.
Hello.
Cat Buster. That's a boy cat, I guess.
It
right?
is. He's a big boy.
So it starts, Diane, your wife was gone for the weekend, and you're in your easy chair. As soon as the legs pop up and the little thing comes up, and you're stretching out, you put a blanket. Buster was right there. But that's when the passing love starts.
Right.
But before that, what were you doing all day? That fits in with the story a little bit.
I spent the day outside, and I was building a new kennel and a new doghouse for our new dog.
Okay.
We already had 2 dogs, but I needed a bigger kennel and doghouse.
And I know I've known you for a lot of years. You love building and doing projects that make a cozy, snug place for your animals.
Yeah, when you put the 2 things together, it's a great day for me. Yeah.
So you're relaxing this day after a very satisfying day of accomplishing things, doing things you enjoyed.
Yes.
You were receiving God's love in a way by having such a beautiful day, building for your critters.
And our new dog, puppy, Rocky, kept stealing my tools and my work gloves and things and hiding them.
Yeah, I heard he have leather gloves and he hid those.
So it just opened my heart. It was a great day.
Since you mentioned that, there's something in there, and I remember your story, but I don't remember this part. Something about chickens. You have free-range chickens?
Yes.
And the dog. What was that about?
Well, I wanted to build a nice pen and kennel for my dogs, but I also wanted to make sure that the free-range chickens couldn't get in.
Okay.
Because the dogs love it when the chickens, they taste like chickens. So
okay.
The dogs like to get the chickens.
Okay, so
I had several things to accomplish there.
Okay. So it was, the dogs had a nice home, but also the chickens that get eaten.
Yeah.
That'd be free-range food for the dogs. So, okay, cool. So basically you did something you enjoyed all day. Your heart was open, and you came in after a hard day's work, very satisfied. It was a good day. You got a lot done. Now you sit on your chair. I'm not sure what room you're in.
It was in the living room.
Living room.
Yeah.
And the bottom part comes up. You stretched out. Job well done. You put the blanket up, and now...
And when the footrest comes up, it has a distinctive click sound, and Buster knows that sound. And
he was right there.
He went to one of his favorite spots, which is to lay on the footrest between my knees and my ankles.
And in the story, you could just barely touch him.
Yeah.
You couldn't do much to him, but you could touch him. So all of a sudden, it seemed like you started having a prayer in your heart.
Yeah.
What was the prayer?
I really wanted Buster to feel loved. I was petting him, and I love Buster very much, and it just was in my heart that Buster feel that love.
And then what happened?
I was petting Buster, and then I got a nudge from the divine just to simply lay my hands on his back.
Okay.
And when I did that...
That was both hands?
Both hands, just palms down.
On your kitty.
And not move them.
And it felt like you were given a nudge from the divine to do that.
Yes.
Okay, and I see that now. I didn't get that in the story. When we get to the rest of the story, it's like the divine was setting you up to accomplish what was in your heart.
I didn't know why I was, I knew I had the nudge, and I've learned the benefits to following nudges. So I followed the nudge.
So you wanted your cat to feel a lot of love, and then the divine... you felt the nudge in your heart to put both hands on your kitty and not rubbering, just hold him there. Okay. And then with spiritual senses, not with my physical eyes, I felt another set of hands come down. On top of
and lay on top of my hands. And with my spiritual eye, I saw those hands, and I felt it.
Okay. And the spiritual eye, some knows up in this area, it's called different things, but it was beyond the physical, but you could perceive it and you could feel it both.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I began to feel a lot of love ramp up and start to flow into my hands.
From the other set of hands?
From the other set of hands.
Okay.
And I recognized that as being God's love. And I
Okay.
recognized that it was your touch in the hands that brought that love down and sent it through our hands together
Okay.
to Buster.
As God's prophet, one of my joys is passing on God's love. It's His love, but I get to pass it on so that my hands, spiritually, I'm miles away, but spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, were they a certain color or perception? How did you perceive
I
them?
perceived that the love that came down was golden.
And
it was warm. It felt warm, and it was golden, and it looked warm with the gold color.
Okay. And a lot of times we know over the years, you've been up to the school for many years, when we experience God's love very directly, not even through a prophet, that golden light is often how we see it, a golden hue. So God's prophet's hands are on top of your hands,
Yes.
and God's love starts flowing through basically my hands spiritually into your hands,
Yes.
and then into the cat.
And then into Buster.
Wow.
And I just felt a sense of wonder when this happened. I was so
Okay.
thankful, and I realized God was answering my prayer for Buster.
Well, that's it. It sounds like that's in your heart, even if you didn't vocalize the prayer. You really wanted your cat, Buster, to feel love.
Yes.
That was in your heart. So there's another pearl to this story, that if God does know what's in our heart, and if it's good, even if we don't formalize a prayer and sit down and read some script or something, God takes that desire you had, it's a good desire for love, for your kitty, He takes that desire as a prayer,
He did.
whether it's formal or not. So He's answered your prayer, literally.
And at the moment this happened, I was aware that that's what was happening. God heard and answered my prayer. And I was sitting there knowing this was happening. It was just an amazing moment.
I'd like to talk to Buster. How's Buster doing?
He's fine.
He's
He's more Buster than ever, I could say that. Buster's always been a loving cat. He loves to give love and receive love. Yeah.
In your story, there's a part where, was it when you're writing this story or you were thinking about it, he came up and he wanted to make sure you got the message, he was on board with you. I don't remember which part of the story that was.
A few days later, I was sitting at the dining room table, and I had just written about the part that we just talked about.
Okay.
And Buster jumped up onto the notepad. I had a yellow legal pad, and he jumped up on the pad, and he butted his head up against my chin, and he was purring very loudly, and he was insistent, like, I'm not going away until you know that I did feel that love. I felt that this was him confirming that yes, he felt that love.
I want to make sure that you made a note of that in the story.
And that lasted for a minute or so, and then he got down and walked away. But he had made his point.
Okay. Yeah, so you got the message,
Yeah.
and once it was done, he left. So is there anything else you want to share about your cat Buster or God's love, or was there any doubt at all after, how long ago was that happened?
This was probably a year and a half ago.
And you're still sure that God love answered your prayer, even though you didn't vocalize it, and literally blessed your kitty and you. Now your cat was blessed, and he made sure you knew when you're writing the story by coming up and bugging you. How were you blessed? Other than your prayer was heard, maybe that's it. Your prayer was heard, and it was answered I guess, almost moments after you had the prayer.
I was blessed to be part of that.
Okay.
To know that God would use me to
bless another soul.
Another soul.
And our pets are souls. They may not be at the same level we are as two-leggeds, but they're still soul too, and God loves them. Maybe it's what I said initially. You had the joy and the privilege of passing on God's love, which is, I think, my opening statement.
Yes. I consciously sat there, and I was receiving God's love through your touch.
Okay.
and I was passing it on, and there was this flow going on. And to be in that flow is such a blessing, and it's something that my heart cherishes.
Yeah, anytime we can be involved in any way, even a small way, to pass on God's love to another soul. I think of the term service as its own reward. Does that fit here?
That fits perfectly.
Yeah. It's such joy to be used by God to bless another. And in this case, it was also your prayer was being answered. If we get to be used to pass on God's love to even a stranger, just kind of a spur of the moment, it's a great thing. Service is its own reward. But in this case, on top of the joy of service, it was your prayer was heard and answered
Yes.
in a matter of moments, I guess.
It was moments.
From the time you started loving on Buster. What do you call it in the book? Loving on?
Loving them up.
Loving them up.
Yeah, I love them up.
And I think in the story, while Diane, your wife, was gone, your job, and you were in charge of loving up all your animals.
Yes.
Your dogs, your chickens, and I don't know what all kind of animals you have.
We got dogs, cats, chickens, rabbits.
How many dogs?
3 dogs.
3 dogs, bunch of chickens.
Currently about 30.
Unless the dogs got them.
Right.
If your fence didn't work. And then you have
2 cats.
2 cats. So do you feel you accomplished your goal that weekend to love up? How do you say, loving them up?
I feel that I accomplished my goal and that I had divine help accomplishing that goal.
Yeah, a little
more
bonus.
than I could have done on my own.
Yeah.
And that was a gift to me, and it was a gift to Buster.
Cool. There's so many folks, including myself, that just find such joy in our pets. These little souls, furry things that bring us so much joy and love. And this is such a beautiful story. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
God blesses me in so many ways, and the pets are one of them. They open my heart every day,
Yeah.
and I get to give and receive love with them. And they've helped me grow spiritually to give and receive more love.
Yeah.
And that has affected everything. It's affected my friendships, my marriage, as a parent, as a pet love 'em up person. Yeah. It just made my love extremely rich, and my love has made my life, which actually is love, has made it extremely abundant.
I've seen you grow as a student up here at the school for many years. I've seen you grow. And one of the reasons we talk about why we're here on this planet, why we're down in this area, not way up there somewhere, is to learn to give and receive love. In almost every interaction we have, if you look really close, it's a matter of giving, the opportunity to give, or the opportunity to learn to receive love. A lot of people are better at giving and have a hard time receiving. And if you're out in the audience out there and somebody compliments you and you go, oh, no, it's nothing, oh, shucks, you might have be challenged in receiving love. But pets, this is a whole other part beyond your book here, which thanks for bringing it up. Pets can be a great way to learn to give love and receive.
Exactly.
Without some of the complications and stuff with two-leggeds, with humans. And I've seen you grown beautifully. You've grown beautifully over the years spiritually. You're a beautiful soul. And do you credit having pets to learn to give love to and receive? Has that helped you?
They're a big part of it, yes.
Yeah.
And your teachings, help bring them alive in my everyday life.
Yeah. Very cool. So I think you're going to be real popular with anybody that loves pets. Irv's definitely love pets. I love my pets. My wife loves cats and dogs. It's just, they're an integral part of so many people's lives, and they definitely help. They're definitely an outlet to give love. No matter if anybody likes you that day and at all, those pets, when you come home, they're usually receptive, and then they give it back.
Yes.
Like when Buster was rubbing your chin there, I wonder if he was saying, thanks, Dad.
That's what I thought he was doing.
Yeah, saying thanks.
Yes.
I felt it and I appreciated it. So,
Message received.
thank you so much, Irv.
Oh, thank you for having me here today.
And why do you think your prayer was answered? Why would God do that for you?
He loves me.
He does love you. He loves you very much. Thank you, Irv. And God loves you too. God loves all of his children very much, and he loves our pets. So thank you for watching today, and If you're a pet owner, I think you'll particularly enjoy this story. If you're not, maybe you go find a pet. A good pet can help open your heart and help teach you to learn to give love and receive love and bring joy into your life. So I hope this show blessed you today in some way. Thank you for watching.